greenteaguru.co.uk offers green tea, white tea, black tea, oolong tea, and we absolutely love pu'er tea with offerings of Misty Peaks, Yunnan Sourcing, Munghai, and Shaguan. We regularly visit Hong Kong and Guangdong, sourcing out very interesting and special cakes for your tea table. Green Tea Guru, based in UK with worldwide delivery. Guys, hello and welcome. Ollie again from greenteaguru.co.uk. Now this is a very quick and dirty video. I will be winning no Academy Awards for this one, I assure you. A very quick dirty video of the new 2016 Yunnan Sourcing Golden Needle I've just got in. Yeah, so I've got the iPad out. I thought, hey, I need to taste this tea. Let's have some fun and let's taste it together. Right, so what I've done, I've just thrown in some warm water into this guy one. Okay, so this is lovely and heated up. Chuck that away. Let's put in some new 2016 Golden Needle. So we're going to put it straight into the guy one. And we're going to try and get some aroma off of the dry leaves. So the way you do this is you preheat your guy one or whatever vessel you're using. The leaves sit in the heated guy one, and we should get some aroma off of these dry leaves. Let's have a little blast. Yeah, tasty. I mean, this tea, this ripe is pretty new. So 2016 harvest. I'm hoping that the dew wei is dissipated, the potentially fishy aroma you might get from the fermentation process. I'm really hoping that's gone. I haven't looked into it too much, so I don't know. But the smell is very sort of Mengai area smell. Golden Needle, so I'm assuming it's going to be very high on the leaf grade, and that's what it kind of smells like as well. Doesn't feel very bassy, doesn't smell very bassy off the aroma, but it does smell very sweet. Very, very nice actually. So what I'm going to do is, how much we got in here? How much we got? Ooh, 5 grams, something like that. I'm just going to do the first rinse now. So yeah, apologies for the shaky camera. It is very quick and dirty review. Right, first rinse completed. Pretty much a flash rinse. 3 or 4 seconds, something like that. Let's have a whiff. That's interesting. It does smell quite light, a little bit complex. So it smells light, but also you can sort of detect some. All right, if I were to pin this down in similarity to any other ripe pu'er that I've tried before, purely based on the wet aroma, it's got to be the V93, the Munghai V93. It's similar in respect that the leaf grade does smell, so far, quite high, but also it's got this sort of background bassiness as well. So, you know, so far I've got to say that's kind of the same lines we're going for. What we're going to do now is the first infusion. So, throw in some water. And I'll give that, I don't know, a few seconds. And if you know me well enough by now, you know that I just like to do my Gaiwan hack. I love to sip out of Gaiwans, especially if I'm drinking on my own. I just throw the whole infusion in there, no messing about. Easy peasy, let's go. Okay, this infusion is looking pretty nice and dark. Pretty nice and dark. It looks pretty full in the cup. And what I mean by that is the texture looks fairly high for a first infusion. You know, I probably did it about 10 seconds or something. It's about 5 grams of leaf here. I'm going to let this cool down for a minute and then we're going to sip the first infusion. Alright, the first infusion I have in my hand. It's been about a couple of minutes, so it's not as hot as it was earlier. Let's give it a go. There's no fishy taste, no fishy aroma, which is good. Of course, because you know, a lot of other ripe teas, they need, you know, a year or two at least before they are palatable. This one, absolutely fine, absolutely fine. And I'm gonna echo my thoughts as to the aroma I was getting. Still similar to V93. And when you look on the website and you find out more about this golden needle ripe, you find out that when Scott sourced this, he was very surprised at the quality of this golden needle. So he bought a lot, and bought as much as he could, and pressed it into these little cakes. I mean, they are pricey. On my site, you can get a 100-gram cake for $9.95, I believe it is. But you know, this is straight out of the gate. You know, it's a year old or less, no due whey. The flavour, it is very light. The texture's medium, so it's got some really nice body. It's complex in a way that, you know, it doesn't have any coarse leaf grade. It doesn't have any lower bassy notes, no overt bassy notes like you might find in 8592 or some other lower grade Mung Hais that I'm very passionate about. But the golden needle itself, kind of like, again I'm going to say it, the V93, it has its own sort of complexity. Being a very high leaf grade, it's going to be very light, but at the same time it has some sort of complex bassy notes instilled within it. But the texture is really good. I mean, for a year old, I'm really surprised at this texture. It's very smooth, nice feeling in the mouth. Let's do infusion number 2. Alright guys, about to do infusion number 2 with the 2016 Golden Needle from Yunnan Sourcing. And what I generally find with ripes is that after the first infusion, the tea leaves just sit there and they seem to soak in all the water, which means that generally the second infusion, you don't need to go too long because it's just been sitting there and it's almost as if it's ready just to drop the infusion straight away. It's just sitting there. Add water, couple of seconds, boom, you've got your next infusion. That's how I like to do it anyway. Let's wait for this to cool down and we'll have another taste. So I'm sitting here on the second infusion and on the first sip, which admittedly I did off camera, sorry. The texture is still there, it's still apparent. But what I'm getting now is a lovely slight sweetness going across the palate. This is kind of noticeable on the first infusion, but the second infusion it's much more apparent. So I've got this lovely sweetness coming through. So, infusion number 3, and I must report things are very similar to infusion number 2. Things aren't waning down. If anything, the sweetness is coming much more to the forefront than in infusion number 2. So just to summarise really, I believe this tea is most likely a good bet for the future. I mean, think about it, it's only a year old. The texture's really good already. which is quite surprising. You've got this beautiful sweetness coming through the palate as well. Can you imagine what this will be like in a few years' time? Those complex notes will just come out slightly more. The texture will most likely improve. Give it 5 years, this will probably be a banger. The sweetness as well is just going to improve. So, you know, a tea after 1 year has got to this stage. I'm very happy with it. Compared to the V93, the V93 is a lot thinner than this tea, a lot thinner. So, yeah, top marks. While I'm here, guys, of course, you can pick this tea up from greenteaguru.co.uk. We've also got a lot more stock in now. Probably the best one, the most interesting one I can think of off the top of my head is a 2003 Boulang brick. This brick was sourced again by Scott Yunnan Sourcing from Fushan Tea Market in Guangdong province. This guy had a load of bricks lying around at the top of his shop for years. He bought a load of these bricks and was going to sell it off to another tea seller, but for whatever reason the deal went south, and these bricks were kept above his shop for well, many years, over a decade. These bricks have now developed an amazing smoky camphor sort of flavour. I mean, you know, if you're into your smoky teas, this one needs to be tried. It just puts out so much flavour. Really, really good. So there's that and many more over at the shop. So I suggest you go and check them out. This is Ollie from Green Tea Guru. Much more videos coming up very soon. Thank you very much for stopping by.